Hello and welcome to another College Basketball Weekly brought to you by the Full Court Network, the home or the house, like they say in Canada, college basketball. We got another good one. Luke Taylor here, Sammy D bringing the heat, the energy, the excitement, just like our guest this week, Coach Matthew Driscoll from the UNF Ospreys.
Let's go.
So we got another great week. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. We got a couple more 5-star ratings on College Basketball Weekly. Check out our Substack page, which has a lot of stuff from this show, College Basketball Weekly, and the Full Court Press at fullcourtnetwork.substack.com. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're watching us YouTube as we grow. So, and don't forget to check out the Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show. We got some more guests, and we're going to actually go to the South next week. So we got a lot of stuff to talk about, a lot of stuff to unpack. Sam. College basketball is in full tilt. There's been some great games, to say the least. It's been fun. It's been real. Let's talk about blowouts. There's been some blowouts.
I don't know. It's like, there's like really good games, like several like OT games, couple double OT games. Then all of a sudden you like turn your head and you're like, holy crap, this team's up by 80 points.
Okay, so what do these people have in common? Wayland Baptist, Mississippi University for Women. They have a men's basketball team. Boyce, Carolina Christian College, Champion Christian, and Calvary. What do they have in common? I've never heard of them.
Yeah. Is that what they all have in common? LT's never heard of them?
I'm looking at these teams. I never knew. So UMKC, the Roos, Fear the Roo.
Yes.
Played Calvary, who's a D2 school in the Midwest Christian Collegiate Conference. They have 500 students. At halftime, it was 64-9 for the Roos. They end up winning. KC Roos end up winning 119-19.
How do you feel about games?
Well, but you know why that's happening, right? Because I mean, what have we talked about? What is the most pressing or biggest issue when we talk to all these college coaches? Non-conference scheduling, correct?
Oh, yeah, you wrote a great Substack about it that launched yesterday. So
yeah,
it's and we talked to these coaches like you throw in like the Kansas City Roos in there, who's like a really, really solid mid-major program that brought back the majority of its roster. I mean, no quad one teams want to play them.
Well, 2 teams did, and they beat them.
I would say,
yeah.
But it's like
the bigger thing is these guys can't get home games,
right?
So now they're getting games against Calvary. And no offense to these teams, I'm not ripping on them by any means, that, but it's just like this is going to hurt their efforts because of the whole metrics, right? Top 75, or what was it, 300 plus or plus 175 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Kent State plays Miami of Hamilton. I mean, they play Heidelberg, which is D3 school, on December 29th. I mean, McNeese State played, I think, the Mississippi College of Women or something like that. So I don't know. It's been interesting.
Good, we got to figure it out, and I'm happy. I mean, like you said, we're not knocking these programs, and if you're a player on that program, you love these games. I mean, it's these are
Do you
games
think you love losing by 100 though?
No, but I mean, it's like none of these players are going to be playing afterwards, and it gives them a shot to go and to play at some cool arenas, and it's I mean, give credit where credit's due. I mean, somebody's got to fill these non-conference schedules.
Absolutely.
What about teams that you're kind of hot on right now? It's I want to start with Purdue because I know you weren't very big on Purdue at the beginning of the season. I wasn't big on Purdue at the beginning of the season. Then they come out and they get a big win.
Yeah. So they beat what did they beat? Alabama last week. Braden Smith, I mean, he's a good basketball player. We interviewed him last year at the Final Four. Air of confidence, good basketball player. And you just never knew how good some of these guys were because of Zach Edey. When you have a guy 7'4",
sure,
you just don't know. But he dropped 17 and 10. He had 10 assists.
Yeah, he's
You
fourth
know,
in the country right now in assists with 9.5 dimes per game. So
yeah,
it's
and then you got Trey number 4, Kaufman, Ren, 26.8 rebounds. You didn't see that last year from him, but the guy I like is LJ Cox. Okay, freshman number 0, 11 points, 18 minutes, 4 for 5, 3 for 3 from 3-pointers. I mean, Coach Painter is a mastermind, and it's funny. A mid-major coach told me to my face that Coach Painter will play anybody anywhere, which is pretty cool for the mid-majors. I mean, he'll play some of these, I know he's playing Toledo this year. He'll play some other teams and stuff like that, which is good to see. So, I'm not really like yourself high on the Big Ten this year, but I'm high on Purdue. I mean, their Final Four team.
Do you think they deserve to be 6th in the country right now, or do you think they're still slightly overrated? I think they're slightly overrated still.
I do too. I'm not going to disagree with you on that one. I think they're a great basketball team. They're easily top 20.
Yeah.
But I think the problem is I don't think there's really any team. Like, you look at UConn last year, they were just so dominant. I think there's more of the teams are more closer together. There's not that gap like years past, maybe, or like a year here, a year there. Especially when Kansas or Duke or UNC were a powerhouse, you just have a lot of really good teams. So
so let's go a little east to the state of Ohio to Xavier.
Oh, you said
I called him, man. I know. We had Coach Sean
Miller
Miller on, and I was like, I did some research, and I was like, man, they're gonna be better than people think they are.
Yeah, and I mean Ryan Conwell, 18.8 points a game, and you called him the Dark House Big East Player of the Year.
Yeah,
still waiting for you to do that clip.
Yeah, no, we'll get it out there, but it's I think he can compete. He's going to be the star for Xavier this year, and I think they are the second best team in the Big East, and I think he is going to become a well-known national name by that first or second week of the Big East conference play, and then you've got Zach Fremantle, who's averaging 17.7 boards a game. I mean, they're as a team they're shooting 43% from 3-point, which is 8th best in the country right now. They're 8th best in assist to turnover ratio. I just like everything about this team. Like, they're shooting the ball well, they're passing it. They're taking care of the ball. I mean, they look really sharp this early in the season.
Yeah, I would agree. And Davion Mitchell. I mean, they just have so many. Davion McKnight. 13.5 points a game. So I'm really excited, Xavier. And tonight they play Siena, which will be interesting because Jerry Mack's going to get after 2 Big East legend point guards going after with Sean Miller at Pitt and Jerry McNamara at Syracuse. So that's going to be good. I'm even going to go farther east now. I'm going to talk about St. John's. You just never knew with St. John's. I mean, you got Kadari Richmond, transferred from Seton Hall, great player. But then they got RJ Lewis, Jr., who dropped 21 and 11 against New Mexico. And you know how high I am on New Mexico. That game was electric. The 2 Pittinos, Rick Pitino's now 3-1 against his son. Aaron Scott, Davion Smith. I mean, they just have so much firepower at St. John's. And is this going to be the year? I don't know. I mean, they look good, though.
They do look really good. What I love, I mean, they jumped up to 22nd in the country in the rankings, and I mean, you mentioned RJ Lewis Jr. I mean, big game against New Mexico. I mean, he basically controlled the whole game. He led the Johnnies in points, rebounds, and assists. We haven't even seen Kadari Richmond break out yet, and that's what's scary. Is once he finds his rhythm, like in this rotation, and kind of how to fit in with Pitino's system, which I do think he's kind of getting more and more comfortable every game. But we're seeing a really good St. John's team without the best Kadari Richmond on the court yet. And we're going to learn a lot on Thursday. They play Baylor. We're going to talk about that in a little bit here.
Yeah, and I think I saw a couple plays where he had the ball. I'm like, all right, this guy can play. This guy's a ball player, and he's going to get it. So I'm going to stay in the Big East. This is not the Big East preview show or the show, but we got to talk about one of our alma maters, at least one of my alma maters, your alma mater, DePaul. I mean, would you ever have thought they'd be 4-0?
No. I mean, it's officially the Chris Holtmann era. I mean, it's nice to see more and more fans getting out to the game. I mean, there's still a lot of work to be done, but winning solves that, And so, when we watch the games, when they're being streamed and stuff, it's visible that there's more and more Chicagoans and DePaul students going out to watch DePaul play basketball, which is the first time that's happened in a long time. You know, when you have this kind of momentum starting off. So.
Yeah, and it's exciting. I mean, it's good to see the Blue Demons. I love their energy. They pass the ball, they move. I mean, they hustle. You never think they're down. I mean, you brought in all these guys. Connor Enright, I really enjoy 6.8 assists per game. You know, played at Drake, doing a great job. Isaiah Rivera, I mean, you know, former UIC player, 17 points game. The thing that worries me about DePaul, you know, they play Eastern Illinois, they Northern Illinois. Actually, they played Eastern Illinois last night. You know, we're taping this just as this game's going on. Northern Illinois, Valpo. But the tests are going to become when they play Texas Tech, Providence, Wichita State, St. John's, and Northwestern. I mean, that's kind of their heart of the schedule in December, and I think we're going to know a lot about them. But the big thing that worries me about their team, they're only shooting 68.1% from the free throw line.
Yeah, you're not going to win a lot of Big East games doing that. I do think that, and I think it's one of the deepest teams DePaul's had in 20 years. You know, like my biggest thing is, do they have a star? Right, you just need to have a star, and is it going to be Isaiah Riviere? Is it going to be Connor Enright? I mean, the thing that worries me the most is, you know, you have David Skogman, who is, you know, 6'11", leading the team in rebounds. He needs to be a little bit more physical in my mind, you know, for the Big East. At 6'11", you're leading the team in rebounds, but you don't have one block yet the first 4 games. You know, he's averaging less than 2 fouls a game. You know, those Big East teams are just going to eat up the paint against DePaul unless they kind of can figure out what that piece looks like down low.
Right. Yeah. But it's exciting. There's an air. There's a buzz.
Oh my God.
There's
it's
an energy.
So exciting. I mean, I got, I mean, we're dreaming, baby. We're dreaming. So I love it.
I'm still waiting for my mug from you. I know what I'm getting for Christmas from you.
There you go. I'll send you some DePaul gear.
No, yeah, sure. Why not? I'll wear it. So
right, you have been active though. It's kind of like where's Waldo? Where's LT? You know, like, I mean, it's a good thing you wear fancy, like shiny colored clothes, like oranges and pinks and stuff. So, and you're also the size of.
You ever think what Jeff Goodman would think of my color selection? Because I guess something about orange. I love orange. Orange and navy are my 2 favorite colors.
I know, man. You look sharp too. But LT's been in the flesh at some facilities and some games. Like, you've been on the road, man.
I love it.
I mean, you fit in there. You know, I
love it. So I went up to So we went up to. I went up and saw Coach Todd, who's been a frequent guest, and I love Todd Kowalczyk from Toledo. Just great dude, great coach, underappreciated. You know, I'm just so hopeful that he gets to the NCAA tournament because he's never been, and he's been so close. But, you know, he toured the facilities. We spent about an hour and a half. I mean, I was just like nuts. I'm like, this is awesome, and just a great dude. We talked a lot about a lot of things. You know, that it's just interesting. But the facilities at Toledo were phenomenal. Just like I can just see from recruits' eyes, like just the, you know, attention to detail. His wife did a lot of the decorating. She did a very good job. Sure. The arena, the Savage Hall, was ridiculous. Like 7,000 students, 7,000, about 7,000 capacity. They have like 12 suites. They've got a full service restaurant that goes on during the game. I mean, it's nuts. Like I told him, took a friend of mine with me, and he was just like, and he went to Miami, Ohio, and he's like, wow. He's like, when we go into a game, so I'm going to hit up there. Just all their facilities, the weight room, the locker rooms, just everything. I mean, it is like top notch. I mean, I don't know if you're looking at a MAC school and you don't go to Toledo. I mean, I've seen a couple of the other facilities. I mean, it's not even close. But
Did you talk to Coach Todd at all about kind of how the season's going? I mean, they've got a pretty good start. You know, I mean, they lost the first one against Troy, and then they've rallied to several straight wins. You know, Sonny Wilson's leading the team in all 3 categories. He's MAC Player of the Week, U.S. Basketball Writers Association Player of the Week. You know, like how's Coach Todd feeling about the season so far?
Yeah, he thinks this is probably one of the best teams he's ever had.
That's saying a lot.
Yeah, it is. I mean, you look at the wall of fame at Toledo, and even his like coaching staff. Justin Ingram's an assistant. He was a ball player. So, Javen Simmons is a ball player. They got a couple other guys. I mean, it's just I don't know what to expect from the MAC. And I can tell you a little bit about Miami, Ohio, which we're going to lead into in a second, but I think this is going to be the year. He's got to get it done in Cleveland. I think he's a type of coach that recognizes he needs to do things differently and is doing things differently. And I think the players really love him and enjoy him. And I didn't think they were going to be as good as I thought they were going to be now that I think they were, because they lost so many good players. The 3 transfers, I mean, Xavier, Minnesota, and Oregon, they lost their 3 top players. They just reloaded.
Yeah, he's got a good squad and so well respected around the country. And we're going to learn a lot before MAC conference play starts. I mean, they play against Houston, they play against Purdue. I mean, if they're going to be really ready. I mean, they're always ready and they always do well in the regular season MAC. And so, do you see them taking home the hardware and going dancing after the MAC tournament?
Okay. Yes. I think this is going to be the year. I think Javen Simmons coming back, Sonny Wilson. Just the team, they got a couple guys that transferred in from 2 MAC schools that are good players, so they understand the MAC. I think this is going to be the year. I'm hopeful because I want to slam dance with them after the MAC championship. But I think if you saw them in their scrimmage, and I don't like watching scrimmages because I just but they played Michigan tough. They played them close. So, and Michigan's a good basketball team. So. You want to segue into that one? Your next question? Here, tee me off. Tell me what we're going to talk about now.
Well, then you go up to Michigan, and like I said, it's like where's LT? But then it's like you find him because he's so big and bright. And
you know what we should do? We should start doing giveaways.
Yes,
like when we go to Philadelphia,
LT, there you go.
And you get a photo and you repost it on Instagram, you get like something $50 or we'll do something. We'll try to partner with somebody. We should do that. So if we go to North Carolina, if we go to Clemson, if we go to these Philadelphia games, or I go to some random games, it's like, where's LT?
I love it. So you went up to the Michigan-Miami game. That kind of game got out of hand after halftime, but 2 good teams, 2 good coaches. Like what are your thoughts there? Let's talk about Michigan first. Junior guard Trey Donaldson, transfer from Auburn. I mean, he is who. I mean, and give Dusty May credit for that one because it's he needed a true point guard, and no one really knew Trey Donaldson how good he was going to be by back. He was the number 2 point guard at Auburn last year, so this is kind of his first year starting in college.
I will tell you, I think Michigan's going to surprise a lot of people.
Okay.
Dusty May is very well respected, obviously built Florida Atlantic. We had Mike Boynton on Mike Boynton Jr. last week. I actually saw him. We chatted a little bit, chewed it up a little bit. Just nice. A great dude. I like the Danny Wolf pick from Yale, 7-footer. Golden in the middle, Rowdy Gale Jr. from Ohio State's a ball player. I mean, they've got LJ Carson, who's a freshman who committed to Florida Atlantic and followed Dusty May. They got all the right pieces, and there's just kind of an air of excitement at Michigan. Are they going to win the national championships here? Probably not. Are they going to make it a Final Four? Probably not. They should make the tournament, which is, with the resources and stuff like that. I love Savage Hall. I love Crisler Center. There's just something. It's just a really cool arena. I think Michigan's gonna, like I said, gonna surprise some people. Press conference was cool. Got to ask a question to Coach May. My buddy who I went with was very impressed. One of our producers, as I like to call him, producer Kistler. They run a first-rate operation, and it's interesting because Miami of Ohio, Coach Steele, boy, they can shoot the ball.
Yeah,
and the problem when a lot of these mid-major teams play these Power Fives, it's a physicality, right? Like you're not practicing against big athletic 7-footers every practice. You might have a 6'11", 7-footer, just wear you out. And that's just what happened. It just like after half, they just got worn out. So I think Miami, Ohio is going to surprise some people too. I did make the sign.
I saw it.
sign.
So you're in the tunnel. Coach Steele's walking out. What happens?
So he walks past it, doesn't see it, and we didn't get a great video of it, but I'll post up there eventually. So I'm like, Coach Steele, and he looks away, and then he looks again and reads it.
He does like a double take. It's great.
He double takes, shakes his head laughing, and then the assistant, who is right behind him, turns around, looks, and gives me the thumbs up. Well, it's funny. After the game, I saw him, and he came out. I said, hey, and whatever. It was just quick because they were leaving. They had to drive back to Oxford, Ohio. But I showed it to him. He's like, man, he just started laughing. And so the assistant came up, and actually one of the other assistants, they're just great. We follow each other and stuff like that. I really like Miami, Ohio. I met their I finally met Lamar their not Lamar, what's his name? Yeah, Lamar Conrad, who's their SID. Awesome dude. Talked to him for a long time. But the assistant said, oh yeah, I can confirm Coach saw it. So that was cool. Awesome. So I made a sign of his brother, Coach Gross, because you remember when he was one of our first guests. I think he was actually our first guest, and he said nothing would get me riled up. What if I said, like, I heckled you? Your brother's better looking than you, and he said that would get me going. So he liked that. That got him laughing. But
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was good. It was good, and I'm excited to watch Miami, Ohio some more, and obviously Michigan. But it was pretty interesting to go back to Michigan. I asked Coach May about the identity. And it was, I feel like we asked some, and I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back, but we asked some really good and thoughtful questions. Not like, why did you have 6 turnovers? So he really liked that. So actually, I got the clip. So let's go to it. Let's listen to Coach May talk about Michigan's identity. Yeah. What would you say, Coach, your identity is right now for Michigan basketball, and where do you want it to be? What would you say your identity as a team right now is of Michigan basketball, and where do you want it to be, or what do you want it to be?
Well, it's funny tonight, so speaking to coaching friends, a very, very successful coaching friend / mentor this morning last mention, and I told him, I said, I don't feel like we have an identity yet on either side of basketball. It's your sponsors, your coaching. 4 games in, you have a new team, you have to win the margins now, you have to figure this stuff out. You may not have an identity until conference play. So what do we want it to be? A team that shows basketball that really, really plays for each other, that they for each other, they scream for each other, they pass the open man, and they play with an incredible amount of passion and tenacity. And so usually, we're easy to play. We're playing extremely hard, and we're very, very connected as a group. We can live with mistakes. Maybe we can't live with it. If we're going to play, maybe we can't live with it. But we're going to keep fighting the good fight and keep getting better every day. And no team is going to be perfect this time of year. So once again, it comes down to, can you fix your issues and solve the problems? But we're still going into January, February, that we haven't done a very good job of doing that.
All right, so we had Coach May, and that's pretty interesting. What mentor told him about the don't worry about it. You're 4 games in, but. So we got some upcoming games this week. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, we got some really good games, and if you don't follow us on Twitter or Instagram, you should, because we're posting kind of games to watch each week as well, and you do a good job with those posts. Thursday, we got 2 games here. Let's talk about them. We already talked about St. John's, so that St. John's plays Baylor on Thursday. A 3-1 Baylor in the Bahamas. What does that game look like for you? Does St. John's stay unbeaten?
I don't. Man, Baylor. Baylor got really exposed against Gonzaga, but Gonzaga is so good. I watched them this past weekend against San Diego State, or not this weekend, this week. What was that? Monday night. And Gonzaga is just good. I mean, Gonzaga is really good. I'm high on Gonzaga.
I thought the same thing. Like when Baylor got exposed by Gonzaga, I'm like, oh man, this isn't good for Baylor. And then you watch a couple more Gonzaga games, and you're like, okay, that game didn't really mean anything.
But then Baylor recovered and beat a good Arkansas team. So
exactly. So I mean, Baylor's 13 in the country. St. John's 22 in the country. What's your prediction? Pick a team.
I'm gonna Baylor.
Yeah, I got Baylor too. I think it's gonna be close. But I think Baylor's going to kind of I think they're going to be really well prepared. I think it's a good matchup as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast-paced game.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Then also on Thursday, we've got a 3-0 Memphis team playing a 4-0 San Francisco team at the Chase Center. Memphis leads the country in 3-point percentage. They're shooting 49% from threes, but then you've got San Francisco. San Francisco's 3-guard system is so fun to watch with Tyrone Riley, Marcus Williams, and Malik Thomas. I don't know, man. You want to talk about a fun game to watch? Like, this might be my game of the week right here, just with how much all these guys will have to prove,
Right. But the biggest thing is this could be 2 of the top 10 backcourts in the nation going against each other.
Yeah, that's why it's going to be. It's just going to be great to watch.
Man, I don't know. I mean, is it going to be a home game for San Francisco because they're in San Francisco at the Chase Center? I don't know. I mean, are they going to show up? I think if they played at their usual suspects where the Dons usually play, I'd probably favor USF. I just feel differently about Memphis this year. I've always been high on Memphis. I love Coach Hardaway. I hope Coach G's not listening to this show because this breaks my heart if he is. I'm going to go with Memphis, but I wouldn't be sad if USF won.
Well, we're split there. I've got San Francisco taking this one. And I probably, at the beginning of the season, I probably would have leaned towards Memphis, but San Francisco is just playing so well right now, this early in the season. And, we're big San Francisco Coach G fans, and it's fun to see them playing so well right now. And I think they're going to be a really hard team to beat. So.
Yeah, I agree. So, okay, we're split on that one. Okay, so the next game Friday night is number 12 Duke against number 17 Arizona at McHale Memorial in Tucson. Arizona was really not talked much about this year, and I think maybe some of it was deservedly so because they lost Ballo and so many good players, but they brought back Caleb Love. They brought in Trey Townsend, who we're big fans of from Oakland. They got Carter Bryant, and I think it's that East Coast Midwest bias. You don't really, Arizona's not on all the time. It's later games. Tommy Lloyd's a phenomenal coach. Duke always has a lot of hype. It's Duke. I mean, they've got a great team. I think Arizona's going to show out here.
Yeah, I've got Duke winning this game. I'm a little concerned Cooper Flagg's doing too much. I mean, he's 100% the real deal, but a team that is as deep as Duke, one player should not be leading in points, rebounds, assists, blocks, and steals. And that's what Cooper Flagg is. Duke. No, I mean Cooper Flagg as a freshman is leading a really, really good Duke team in all 5 categories. I think he's just doing too much when he's playing against some of these better teams, but I think they're still going to win. Arizona, man, they played so bad against Wisconsin. They lost by 15 points. They are so vulnerable when they're not shooting well. As good as Coach Lloyd is, I was pretty disappointed just how undisciplined I saw that team. They only had 6 assists as a whole team that game. It was not. I think they're going to get better throughout the year, but this early in the season, I've got Duke the way both teams are playing right now.
Yeah. Okay. I'm excited to see that. I'm excited to see Duke in the flesh if we do go down to Clemson for that. Where's LT? Right? That'll be a good. Where's LT? Problem is, I'll wear orange and I'll fit in, so it'll be harder to find me.
There you go. Saturday. Saturday.
I know Saturday.
You wanted to put this on our map, and I'm glad you did. Temple versus UMass. So tell me what you want.
Well, Coach Chaney's team looks good with Aaron McKee and Eddie Jones, and they're playing a UMass team with Coach Calipari, Lou Rowe, and Marcus Camby, and you got
Oh my gosh, how old are you?
God, I mean, I put Temple and UMass just because. Coach Fisher has been a frequent guest. We've had Coach Martin. He's going to come back. Supposedly had a really good time. Still waiting, Frank. But Temple's 3-1. UMass is 1-3. UMass, played a tough game against West Virginia. They played a tough game against La Tech, Louisiana Tech with Bacho. Yeah. Remember Bacho? We got to talk about Bacho. Talking to our coach this week.
Yeah. No, I mean, you like you said, UMass is kind of on a 3-game losing skid right now. They lost to a good West Virginia team, a really good Louisiana Tech team, and then a close one against Hofstra in overtime. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I don't think their record is who they are right now as like a performance, but I mean, let's talk about Jamal Mashburn Jr. Have you seen what he's doing over at Temple?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, shooting 50%, averaging 24 points a game. He's shooting 62% from the threes. Like
How many
keep chucking
threes is he taking?
high 20s, I think.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. So he's
So
averaging 5 threes a game, yeah.
yeah, I mean, keep shooting the ball, Jamal. Man,
You think he's
I'm glad to see him doing well because I wasn't so sure that was a good transfer for him. But he's fitting in perfectly.
Yeah. His dad was pretty good. Still waiting for him to be on the Full Court Legends. Let's talk. So what is your favorite tournament during Feast Week? I love Feast Week.
Yeah, historically, it's the Maui Classic. I think that's kind of everybody's consensus, right? I mean, that's where you're going to get the best games. I mean, unless your alma mater's playing somewhere. And there's been some new tournaments that have popped up over the past decade that are always fun to watch. But pound for pound, Maui Classic is always the best, And since the inception of the Maui Classic Invitational, more than 250 players that have participated in the tournaments have been drafted in the NBA draft. 150 of those in the first round. Like, that's just how good the Maui Classic is. I mean, that's where a lot of college stars are born, especially like in these freshman, sophomore classes. It's like this is where they become national names.
Yeah. What would you say what would be your favorite first round game of these pairings? Memphis, UConn, Colorado, Michigan State, Auburn, Iowa State, or Dayton, UNC, North Carolina? That's 4 pretty good games.
So
my last one would be Colorado State, Michigan State. No offense, Coach Boyle.
Yeah, I think the best game is going to be Auburn, Iowa State. I think the game I'm most looking forward to is Memphis, UConn. Yeah, I think UConn is, it's no one's really seen how good they can be yet this year as they go for a three-peat. And this will be the first time where they're going to have to play a couple back-to-back really tough games. And Memphis is a really good team, like we've already talked about. So that's the game I'm most excited about because I really want to learn how good UConn is right now in the season. But I think the best game, the closest game, a game that's going to go back and forth is that Auburn-Iowa State game.
Yeah. I'm excited to see Dayton. I think Dayton's going to travel the best. I don't know if you know about the Flyer culture. But
man, their fan base is wild.
Yeah, I'm excited to see Dayton play UNC, but that's going to be all in all. So I'm excited. I'm going to watch a lot of college basketball next week, and it's nice because you have games at 2:00, 1:00, all different shapes and sizes and stuff like that. So
all day. Talk about shapes and sizes. Like what's shape and size are you going to be by Friday night?
I'm going to be conservative on what I eat. Okay. I will go back for seconds. I'm just going to have smaller plates.
I like what's your
stuffings.
What's your
sweet potato?
If you have a plate of Thanksgiving food, what's your starting 5 on that plate?
I'm going to have 2 different types of stuffing.
Okay.
I'm going to have Hawaiian bun with butter. I'm going to have sweet potato casserole. And I'm going to have probably some gravy on the stuffing. I'm not a big turkey guy. I'll have a little bit of turkey just to say I had some. Yeah. But that's kind of like me. What about yourself?
Oh,
I'll have some salad too. We'll have some salad.
You got to throw a little salad in. It makes you feel good, Yeah, and I'll do a little turkey, a little ham. A big twice baked potato fan. If that's on the menu, which the house I grew up in, it always was for Thanksgiving. So that's good.
When I went to your house that one time for Thanksgiving, we had lasagna, and that was one of my favorite Thanksgivings ever.
yeah. We grew up having lasagna for Thanksgiving. That was good.
Yeah, it was good.
So but you can't go wrong with stuffing. Stuffing should be like a year-round thing we just celebrate.
No,
I'm disappointed. It's only like 1 week.
It's horrible for you.
It's so good though. It's so good. It's so good. But like you said, so many good games this coming week, and we're gonna find out how good a lot of these teams we've been talking about are.
Yeah, absolutely. But Sammy, another good one, man. Don't forget to check out college or Full Court Press, a college basketball coaches show. We've got Coach Matthew Driscoll on from the UNF Ospreys. Caw. He liked that. Let's go. And don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review. Check out our Substack. Check out our Twitter. Check out our Instagram. And hey, give us a 5-star review. We've slowly grown both on this show on a College Basketball Weekly and the Full Court Press. We want to be your home for college hoops, and we'll be back next week. We'll talk a little bit of Feast Week and maybe preparing a little bit more for Thanksgiving. So from LT and Sammy D, we're going to drop it like it's hot.
Peace.